Today we will create a vivid and powerful shark drawing together. Sharks are always an interesting source of inspiration, not only because of their powerful shape, but also because of the mysterious feeling they bring when gliding through deep water. Whether you are a beginner or familiar with pencils and colors, rest assured that by following each step you can completely create a beautiful and deep work. Now prepare paper pencils, erasers, and your favorite colors. Let's start the creative journey. First, imagine the overall body of the shark. Sharks are long and tapered like a teardrop with a large head that gradually narrows towards the tail. Draw a very gentle curve from the head to the tail to create a spine. This will help you shape the movement and swimming style of the shark in the drawing. Next, draw a softer curve below to create the belly. These two lines should be parallel and narrow at the tail. Keep them light so you can edit them later. Once you have the overall shape, move on to the head. Shark heads tend to be short and flat, especially at the snout. Draw a slight curve in front to create a protruding nose. Next, place a small eye, either oval or slightly round. Sharks have a cold gaze, so draw the eye slightly inward, add a small black dot for the pupil, and leave a small highlight to create a water reflection. Don't go too bold, it's all still just a sketch. Now for the mouth, which is where the shark's fierce and powerful look comes from. Draw a long curve below the eye, curving down slightly like a cold smile. Don't make it straight and hard. The shark's mouth is soft, long, and has a gradual slope. Once the mouth is in place, add a layer of curves underneath to give the jaw some volume. Then draw small triangular teeth, but remember that the shark's teeth are not even but a little messy. This creates a more natural and realistic feel. Next, we move on to the fins. Sharks have one large dorsal fin located on the upper half of their body. Draw the dorsal fin with a slightly wide base, a moderately pointed tip, and a gently curved back edge. Next, draw two pectoral fins on either side of the body. These fins are usually tilted back, long and slightly sharp at the tip. Place them evenly on both sides to create harmony for the overall shape. Finally, the caudal fin. The caudal fin has two lobes with the upper lobe larger than the lower lobe. Make the upper lobe high and wide while the lower lobe is shorter and smaller. This is what makes the shark look so distinctive. Once you have the basic outline, go back and refine the lines. Use a pencil to draw thinner, clearer lines to create a sense of a solid body. Sharks have smooth skin and a smooth shape, so avoid sharp corners or sharp edges. You can add 5 gill slits on either side of the head using short parallel curves. Don't make them too dark, just enough to give the impression of anatomy. Now comes the fun part, shading and shading. Sharks, especially great whites or blue sharks, tend to have dark backs and light bellies. This is a phenomenon called back shadow belly light that helps them blend into the water. Start with the back. Use a pencil to create a darker shade from the spine down the middle of the body. Don't shade it evenly. Let the pencil run the length of the body to create the illusion of smooth skin. Next, gradually reduce the shade as you go down to the belly so that the belly retains the natural shine of the paper. When shading, pay attention to an imaginary light source. If the light is coming from the top left, the left dorsal fin will be lighter, while the underside of the right pectoral fin will be darker. Add a shadow under the fin to create the illusion of thickness and separation from the body. This is a small but important point to make the drawing look professional. For the mouth and teeth, use a thick line to create shadows in the jaw. This will give the mouth depth and add definition. For the teeth, you can shade very lightly at the base to make them look like they are growing from the inside while keeping the top of the teeth light to give definition. For the eyes, add shadows under the eyes to create a sunken effect like a real fisheye. Next, you can add structural lines to the body. Just a few very faint curves on the sides to suggest the shape of the muscles under the skin. These lines don't need to be obvious, just subtle hints to give the viewer a sense of movement. If you want to color, start with a very light gray over the entire body. Then add a darker gray on the back. You can add a little blue to the back to give the impression of the shark swimming in blue water. The dorsal and pectoral fins can be darkest at the base and fade towards the edges. This will help them look thin and alive. For the belly, use a very light cream color or keep it completely white to retain the brightness of the paper. For the eyes, use black or dark brown and add a small highlight to make them sparkle. Once you've completed all the steps, take a step back and look at the whole drawing. You will see the shark appear strong, sharp, but also very soft, true to the nature of this creature under the ocean. The special thing when drawing a shark is the minimalism in the lines, but requires a high level of flexibility. Each stroke needs to be gentle but firm, helping you practice the flexibility of your hands and the sense of space. If you feel that the painting is not as perfect as you want, do not be disappointed. Every work of art is a journey, not a final destination. See it as a practice, a time to discover more about your own skills. Each time you redraw, your shark will become clearer, stronger, and more expressive. The most important thing is that you feel happy and see yourself progressing with each stroke. Thank you for taking the time to accompany us throughout today's tutorial. Hopefully the shark painting you just completed will make you proud and inspire you to continue exploring other interesting topics. I hope you enjoy this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one. If you like this tutorial, please subscribe so we can create more awesome stuff together. Today we will draw a cute and expressive seal. Seals are cold water animals with a round, soft, and friendly appearance. Therefore, this topic is suitable for beginners, but also interesting for those who want to practice creating soft shapes, graceful curves, and natural facial expressions. Prepare your drawing paper, pencils, erasers, and if you want, you can prepare some colors to color after finishing. Now let's get started. First, sketch out the seal's body. Imagine a large oval lying horizontally because the seal's body is soft and shaped like a plump drop of water. Draw a long oval for the body. Remember to sketch it lightly for easy editing. The left side of the oval is where you will place the head. Draw a small circle overlapping the body to create the head. Don't make it too obvious because the seal's neck is quite seamless with the body. Next, define the seal's gaze. If you want the seal to look slightly to the left, draw a slight curve from the top of the head down to the chin to divide the face into two parts. Then draw a small horizontal line across the middle of the head to define the eyes. Seals have small sparkling eyes, so they are usually set quite far apart. Draw two small teardrop or oval eyes, but make them slightly rounded to create a cute feel. Right between the eyes, slightly down, draw the seal's nose. The nose can be represented by a rounded triangle or two small nostrils close together. Seals usually have quite bold and dark noses, so when you're done, you can shade this area to create an accent. From the nose, draw two slight curves down to create the mouth. Seals always have cute expressions, so a small upward curve is enough to create a happy feeling. Once the face is in place, we can start sketching the arms and legs first. Seals do not have legs like land animals, but instead have two front fins. These are soft and slightly flared, located near the head. Draw one fin on each side like a rounded leaf. Make sure they are slightly drooping to show that the seal is lying on the ground or ice. As for the back fins, they are close to the tail and are shaped like two soft fans. You can draw the tail slightly open to the sides to create a comfortable and natural feel. Now it's time to adjust the body shape. Connect the head to the body with a soft curve and leave the neck uncovered. The seal's body is made up of many large curves, so soften the entire outline to create a smooth feel. At the hips and tail, make the curve narrower and wider at the tail. This creates a seamless and balanced look. Once the basic shape is complete, move on to the details. Starting with the face, emphasize the eyes with darker pencil strokes. Leave a small highlight in the eye to create a shiny look. For the nose, fill it in evenly to create a distinctive dark spot. The mouth and whiskers are also important. Seals have long curved whiskers that grow around their mouths. Draw several thin whiskers, each slightly curved on both sides. This adds to the cuteness of the character. Next, highlight the fins. Don't make the outline too sharp. Keep them rounded and soft. On the body, you can add a few faint curves along the length of the body to suggest the soft flesh and thick layer of fat of the seal. These lines shouldn't be too obvious, just a slight hint is enough to create the effect. Now we'll shade the seal. Because seals are very shiny and moist, their shadows are usually soft and have a very smooth transition. Identify the light source, for example, from the top right. This will make the left side of the body and the underbelly darker. Use light strokes and a steady rotation to create smooth shading. On the belly, keep the light areas to create a plump and soft feeling. On the two front fins, add shading on the underside near the body to create relief. If you want to color, start with a light gray or light cream base for the whole body. Seals are usually blue-gray, silver-gray, or slightly brown depending on the species. After the base color, add dark gray patches on the back to create depth. The belly should be lighter, even kept partly white to create shading. On the face, use a darker color to fill in the nose and lips. The eyes can be filled in with black, mixed with a little brown for a natural look. If you are drawing a baby seal, you can add a few small spots on the back or sides to add to the cuteness. When the drawing is almost finished, add the final touches. Increase the darkness in the deep shadow areas such as the belly, the underside of the fins, or where the body touches the ground or ice. Add some shadows under the seal's body to give the impression that it is lying flat. If you want to add some life to your drawing, you can add some simple background elements like some curves to represent ice or a gentle wave if the seal is near water. Finally, look at the whole work. You will see that the seal appears soft, friendly, and extremely cute. The great thing about this topic is that you do not need complicated lines. Just control the curve and smoothness of the shadow. If your drawing is not as expected, do not worry. This is an extremely suitable form for practice, and you will see clear progress with each attempt. Thank you for following the tutorial until the end. I hope this seal drawing will help you relax, inspire, and bring you creative joy. If you like drawing tutorials like this, continue to follow along and explore more interesting topics. Have an inspiring day, and see you in the next videos.